tiny tribe of people in your organization who believe in the faith of where you're going, then over time, all of them are going to become unicorns. All of them are going to want to see the rules go away. That we know there are lots of rules. Some of the rules have good reason, right? I don't know if you can read that. It says, warning, electric fence, and little girls grabbing the wire. But most of the rules are a little outdated. And then what we're going to have to do if we want to lead is understand that the rules aren't the point, the faith is the point. And that the people who get in trouble in organizations are the ones who break the rules for the wrong reason. But in organizations, when you break the rules for the right reason, to serve a customer, to accomplish the organization's mission, to grow in the right way, nothing bad ever happens. The rules are there for the other people. So one of the ways we approach this is by getting rid of little no's. Little no's don't help us. What we're seeking is the big yes. Not go to your boss and say, I went to see Seth and I got this great idea, can I do it? Because if you say that to her, of course she'll say no. You know why? Because if it fails, you blame her, and if it succeeds, you'll take all the credit. Why on earth would she say yes to that? What you do is you find the moment when you have the following, when you've built the proof, when the thing is moving. That's when you're going to get a big yes. Red Maxwell, a dear friend of mine, has a daughter, Cassie, who has juvenile diabetes. Red is impatient. Red is not willing to wait for a bureaucracy to figure out how to get its act together to help Cassie get better. So Red's a heretic. Red is trying in every direction he can, with as much energy as he can, to build a tribe of people who are actually changing things. Jackson Pollock got thrown out of at least one art class, I can guarantee you, because this does not look like a final exam for 1941. But the fact is, by reinventing art, he showed a whole bunch of other people how to think about what they do. A guy named Rob Bell wrote a controversial book that evangelical Christians are spending time reading that talks about this exact point, which is that it's possible to lead without doing it the way everyone else does it. A dear friend of mine, Megan McDonald, who's here today, is a coach. She teaches people how to do something really scary, and in my estimation, sort of dumb, which is climb rocks and maybe fall. But most of the time, not fall. And the way she coaches is not by acting like Vince Lombardi. Not by saying, everyone go do this, everyone go do this, yelling, 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 humiliating the way we've seen so many sports coaches do it. What she does is she assembles groups of people, and she talks to them in a whisper sometimes. And then she leads them to where they need to go and walks away. And the group leads itself from that point. They coach each other. 12-year-olds helping 14-year-olds figure out their way through a rock problem. That what we see is that being a community organizer, organizing people to make a difference, is the way you make change happen. That what we see is that it's not about top-down yelling. It's about making the choice to lead. And where we're coming full circle here is that the definition of marketing, if I'm right, is now no longer clever copywriting or interesting media buying or even how do I cut 5 cents out of the cost of that product. That the future of marketing is deciding to be a leader. So, 7 elements that I think leaders have when they're working with a tribe. First, they challenge people. They push people outside their comfort zone because you don't need to join a tribe to be safe. Second, they create a culture for the tribe. All tribes have some level of culture. If the leader works hard to create that culture, that tone, then it's more likely to catch on. They have curiosity. They don't say, this isn't in my religion, therefore I cannot consider it, examine it, or decide if it's true or not. They are curious about what's happening in the outside world. They look at it on its own merits. Then they decide if it's something they want to embrace, if it's something they want to follow. They have charisma, but here's the cool thing. Charisma does not make you a leader. Being a leader gives you charisma. I don't care if you were born shy or with a stutter or a fear of standing up in front of people. There are plenty of leaders who were. That it doesn't matter if you're eloquent. It matters that you choose to do this. And by doing it, you become charismatic. Because leaders communicate to the people in their tribe. They do it often, they do it well. And then they connect the people in their tribe to each other. And lastly, they commit. They commit to the movement. The movement can tell when you haven't made that commitment. So these are my business cards. Maybe your picture's here. And I think at least one of you, I recognize someone. There you are. You're even nicer in person. Thank you for coming. So on the back of my business cards, which I got from moo.com, great name, is pictures of my readers. Because it's a reminder to me that my job is not to find more readers. I have enough readers. My job is to write things that my readers want to read. To write things that will enable them to go find someone, because they need more people to get it. That's why they became my readers in the first place. So what do tribe members want? They want to connect with each other. They want meaning. No one has enough meaning in their life. Everyone's looking for more. They want to make a difference. We want to do something beyond ourselves. We want to be noticed. We want to be singled out. We want not just the leader, but the other members of the tribe to see us. We want to matter. And I guess if I was going to sum them all up in the last one, the most important one is this. Most people want to be missed. If you don't show up, is someone going to miss you? Or are you just another 50 cents in the till? Are you just another person sitting in a seat? That this idea of being missed informs so many of the tribes in our community. Tribes make you smarter. They make you smarter because you're not just yelling into the ether and seeing what happens. They make you smarter because you say something to the tribe and the tribe talks back to you. And the tribe talks to each other. So, quick Starbucks case study. Starbucks blew it. They lucked into a tribe. It turns out that coffee and certain architecture and certain locations magically attracted a group of people, some road warriors, some yuppies, some self-employed, some people who are hipsters, whatever, who all liked each other. And it was our club. And I could go to Baltimore and walk into Starbucks and I would feel right at home. And the coffee was the secret handshake. It cost $4. That was the admission fee. We wasn't there for the coffee. We were there to be part of the tribe, to connect. Now, if they had sat down 5 years ago and said, how do we do more for this tribe? How do we empower this tribe? How do we connect this tribe? How do we do things for this tribe so they're more likely to use us as the place they go, as the connector? They would be a little smaller today and a lot more successful. But instead, Starbucks said, how can we sell coffee to people who go to Dunkin' Donuts? What a mistake. Because that's the old way. That's about how do we get another $3 from another stranger, not how do we connect people. There are a lot of tools in the toolbox here. I haven't talked about any of them. The Facebooks and the MySpace and the LinkedIn, all the technology tools. I haven't talked about the tools in the real world. I haven't talked about using Meetup to find out, because it doesn't matter. It just matters that you pick tools that work for you and use them to the fullest extent possible by going to the extreme. That my job isn't to tell you what to do, it's to inspire you to inspire other people. That what makes me so excited about talking about this book and working on the book is that this is what all of us need. That we don't need another widget. We don't need another thing. We need a connection. Down the street, if you're from out of town, at FAO Schwartz, is the Little Mismatch collection. Now, when I first started talking about Little Mismatch, they were doing $1 million a year in revenue. This year they'll do $40 million, and it's been 5 years. Little Mismatch is growing by leaps and bounds. Why? Because it's the uniform for the tribe. Kids don't need socks and dolls. What they need, if you're a 12-year-old fashion-forward girl, is the ability to go to your friends during recess and say, want to see my socks? Right? Want to see my socks? I can even do this. Want to see my socks is the uniform of the tribe. And as long as Little Mismatch understands that that's what they do for a living, they're going to do great. It's about this. If I had a button, it would say this. Am I doing it for my tribe or to my tribe? 4 versus 2. Because marketers do things to people all the time, especially the spammers who call you at home during dinner. They're doing something to you. And they think they deserve it. They're entitled. Well, you're not on the do not call list. But it's wrong. But they do it to us because that's the way it's always been done, because that's their job. And what leaders do, what people with tribes do, is they do it for us. So the last story, I think, I'm going to tell